Dear students, in this video on work, energy and power, we will study elastic and non-elastic collision with numerical problems. So, let us begin with the idea of collision. So, when two bodies collide physically or hit each other or affect motion of one another, then collision has taken place. For example, between two balls, like one ball and you have another ball, they are hitting each other, collision take place and they are touching each other. And another case, say if you have nucleus, an alpha particle, you are familiar with this Rutherford's alpha particle experiment, scattering of alpha particle. So alpha particle is positive, nucleus is also positive, and when alpha particle approaches it, it gets deflected from its path, right? So it is not touching the nucleus, but collision takes place. So that is also treated as collision. Now we have two types of collisions, elastic and non-elastic, and let us begin with elastic collision. So the total linear momentum of the system remains conserved in elastic collision, and this is universal law applicable everywhere. Now, another necessary condition is the total kinetic energy of the system remains conserved. So, this is kinetic energy, not energy. Total energy will always remain conserved. That again is universal law. So total linear momentum will always remain conserved. Here total kinetic energy remains conserved, and also total energy remains conserved. Now, no collision is perfectly elastic. कोई भी collision perfectly elastic नहीं होता है. We can take some examples of nearly perfectly elastic collision, like collision between billiard balls, they are very hard, or ivory balls, or collision between gas molecules for ideal gas. In ideal gas, the gas molecules hit each other without any loss of kinetic energy. So that is nearly perfectly elastic. Now, inelastic collision. Now, in inelastic collision, the total linear momentum remains conserved. It is universal law. But the total kinetic energy does not remain conserved. Kinetic energy is not conserved. And no collision is perfectly inelastic. Now, in it, after collision, the bodies stick together and move with common velocity. In perfectly inelastic or non-elastic collision, the bodies stick together and move. अगर दो bodies collision के बाद एक साथ stick हो जाते हैं and moving together, then it is perfectly inelastic collision. So, see. Now, some important points about collision. Total momentum of an isolated system is always conserved. So collision is elastic or non-elastic, does not make any difference. Total momentum will always remain conserved. Total energy of system will also remain conserved. These two are universal law, always applicable. But when it comes to kinetic energy, total kinetic energy is conserved only in elastic collision and not in inelastic collision. Important point to note. In inelastic collision, the loss of kinetic energy in any appears in other forms of energy like heat energy or maybe sound energy. And no collision is perfectly elastic or completely inelastic. Most of the collisions are inelastic. So these are some important points that you must understand. And now, elastic collision in one dimension. we will see elastic collision in one dimension. One dimension means along a straight path. So you can see, look what you saw, that these two bodies were coming. This had more velocity than this one, so it hits it, and then after hitting they get separated. A situation like this. M1, M2 moving with velocities u1 and u2, and clearly u1 is greater than u2. So M1 is hitting it here, and after hitting their velocities become v1 and v2. Now during this collision they apply force on each other, they interact. You are familiar with this situation. So this is situation before collision, elastic collision is taking place, and this is situation after collision. So we will apply the conditions now. Since momentum is conserved, linear momentum is conserved, the momentum before collision m1 u1 for this one plus m2 u2 for this one is equal to m1 v1 for this one and m2 v2 for the other body. We are not using the vector signs because the motion is taking along a straight line, so we can do without those vector signs. Now kinetic energy is conserved. So the kinetic energy before collision, for m1 it is half m1 u1 square, for m2 it is half m2 u2 square is equal to, now after collision, for m1 half m1 v1 square, for m2 half m2 v2 square. So we have written the two equations, and now we will just rearrange them. So from this equation 1, take the terms of m1 on left hand side and m2 on right hand side. So m1 की term आप left ले जाओ और m2 की term आप right में ले जाओ. So when we do so, take m1 common. So inside bracket we are left with this u1, और ये m1 v1 जब left में जाएगा तो negative हो जाएगा. So you will get minus v1. So on the left side we get m1 into u1 minus v1 is equal to, now on the right side m2 v2 is already there, and bring this m2 u2 from the left side. So it will become negative, and take m2 common. So you get m2 into v2 minus u2, equation number 3. And now another rearrangement from equation number 2. From this equation you can see that 1 by 2 is cancelled in all the terms, and take the terms of m1 on left hand side and terms of m2 on right hand side, and then take m1 common. So here you get m1 into u1 square, और ये वाली term left में आके negative हो जाएगी, so minus v1 square is equal to, do the same thing on right side, take m2 common, you get v2 square minus u2 square. Okay, and now divide this equation by this one. So when you divide, m1 and m1 cancelled, m2 and m2 cancelled. In the numerator we'll have u1 square minus v1 square. In denominator we get u1 minus v1. Here the numerator is v2 square minus u2 square upon v2 minus u2. And now if you look at it, this is equation, this is formula of a square minus b square. So we can open it with a plus b into a minus b. That means u1 plus v1 minus u1 minus v1. So the minus term will be cancelled out, and you will be left with the positive term. That means u1 plus v1. Similarly on the right side you will be left with v2 plus u2, opening up with using the same formula, and then we get on the left side we get u1 plus v1 is equal to, on right side, v2 plus u2, and let us rearrange them. Take u2 to the left hand side, we get u1 minus u2 is equal to v2 minus v1. Now, what is significance of u1 minus u2? It is relative velocity of approach, and this is relative velocity of separation. You see, when this m2 was moving with initial velocity u2 and m1 was approaching it, m1 इसके पास आ रहा है u1 velocity से. So clearly u1 is greater. So the relative velocity of m1 with respect to m2 is u1 minus u2. So this is called velocity of approach. And after collision, the velocity of m1 is v1 and velocity of m2 is v2. So v2 minus v1, relative velocity of m2 with respect to m1, it is velocity of separation. वो collision के बाद किस relative velocity से separate हो रहे हैं. So this is a necessary condition, a very important outcome from this elastic collision, that velocity of approach of bodies is equal to velocity of their separation. And we want to find out velocities after collision. So from this equation, equation number 5, we can take v2 as, take this minus v1 to the other side, it becomes positive. So v2 is equal to u1 minus u2 plus v1, and put it in equation 1. So we are going to do that. पीछे equations हैं आपके पास. So when you put them and solve them, the final velocity of m1, that is v1, comes out to be this much: m1 minus m2 upon m1 plus m2 u1 plus 2m2 upon m1 plus m2 u2. And from here, when you put the value of v1 in this equation, you can find out v2. So the final velocity of m2, that is v2, is this much. So just exchange the places of m1 and m2, you get m2 minus m1 and m1 plus m2 as it is, and exchange the places of u1 and u2. So in place of u1 I have got u2, and here in place of m2 I have got m1, and m1 plus m2 it won't make any difference. So in place of u2 I have u1. So in this way we have got final velocities of bodies m1 and m2, relations for them. Now we'll take some special cases. Now special cases, when the bodies have equal mass, when m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m, then what will happen? Just see. From this equation, in this equation put m1 is equal to m2. So when you put m1 is equal to m2, this term becomes 0, and this term will give you 2m upon m plus m u2. So 2m upon 2m cancelled and you are left with u2. So v1 is equal to u2, and from this equation again this term becomes 0, you get 2m upon m plus m is into u1, that is equal to u1. So v2 is equal to u1. Now what is happening here is, just see, the final velocity of m1 is equal to initial velocity of m2. जो m1 की फाइनल वेलोसिटी है वो m2 की इनिशियल वेलोसिटी थी, और जो m2 की फाइनल वेलोसिटी है वो m1 की फाइनल वेलोसिटी थी. That means they have exchanged their velocities. So when bodies of equal masses collide elastically, they exchange their velocities after collision. Collision के बाद वो अपनी velocities exchange कर लेते हैं. So this is an important outcome. And here again let us further specialize. So similar situation, masses are equal, m1 plus m2 is equal to m, and m2 is at rest, that is u2 is 0. That means m1 आ रहा है और यहाँ पर एक body m2 रखी हुई है, it is not moving, and now they are hitting it. So what will happen? They exchange their velocities. So you can see that v1 is equal to u2 is equal to 0. That means m1 will stop and v2 is equal to u1. v2 is equal to u1. So m2 will pick up the velocity of m1. That means m1 stops and m2 moves with velocity of m1. जब ये दो bodies टकराएंगी, पहली चल रही है, ये रुकी हुई है, when they hit it, the first one stops and the second one starts moving with the velocity of the first one. So some special cases here and now some more. Okay. Now when m2 is at rest and masses are not equal, m1 is much larger than m2. That means m1 is very large and m2 is very small and it is at rest, it is not moving. What will happen then? m1 minus m2 will be nearly equal to m1 because m2 is negligible, and m1 plus m2 will be nearly equal to m1. m2 is negligible, and from here the final velocity of m1, that is v1, is the same formula. Now in place of m1 minus m2 I can write m1, you see, and m1 plus m2 will be equal to m1 into u1, and u2 is 0, so second term becomes 0. So and m1 cancelled, so v1 is equal to u1. That means the larger body m1 continues to move with the same velocity. Its final velocity is same as initial velocity. And let us look at the final velocity of m2. Now final velocity of m2 is v2, the same formula. Now m2 minus m1 into this u2. u2 is 0, first term becomes 0. For the second term I can write it as m1, 2m1, denominator also m1, u1. So m1 cancelled, we get 2u1. So v2 is equal to 2u1. Final velocity of second mass, the smaller mass, is twice the initial mass, twice the initial velocity of the first mass. Just look at it. See, m1 is much larger than m2, and m1 is moving with velocity u1 and m2 is at rest. So this is before collision and after collision. Just look at it. After collision, the velocity of m2 is 2u1. ये जो है डबल वेलोसिटी से भाग रहा है और पहला वाला अपनी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी से चला जा रहा है. सो पहले वाले की वेलोसिटी में कोई चेंज नहीं है, इट कंटिन्यूज टू मूव विथ सेम वेलोसिटी. और जो दूसरी वाली बॉडी है, दिस वन इज स्केयर्ड एंड रन्स विथ डबल द वेलोसिटी. ये डर के मारे डबल वेलोसिटी से भाग जाएगा. इंटरेस्टिंग. एंड नाउ what if the situation is reversed? m2 is at rest, that is u2 is 0, but m2 is much larger than m1. Now see, m2 is very large and m1 is very small. m1 is moving, m2 is at rest, not moving. Let's see what happens. So m1 minus m2 will be nearly equal to minus m2, and m1 plus m2 will be nearly equal to m2 because m2 is much larger, m1 is negligible. And using the same equation, same relation of final velocity, u2 is 0, so this term becomes 0. Now first term is minus m2 upon m2 u1, so you get minus u1. That means final velocity of m1 is minus u1. That means the m1 has reversed its direction of velocity. Same value but direction is changed. And let us look at the final velocity of m2. m2 की final velocity v2, same formula. Now u2 is 0, so first term is 0. Second term 2m1 upon m2, and m1 is negligible as compared to m2. So this fraction is very, very small. So this velocity is negligible. So v2 is nearly 0. That means m2 practically remains at rest. So it is like, see, m2 is very, very large, and a very light mass very light mass m1 is hitting it with velocity u1. This is the situation before collision. And after collision, what happens? m2 remains at rest. Final velocity of m2 remains 0 only. And m1 runs back with the same velocity. So, our daily life experience, this could be a wall also. It could be a wall, you are hitting the wall with a ball. So, after collision, situation changes like this. So, these are all special cases for elastic collision. Very important, they are asked in examination also. Now, let us take an example of perfectly inelastic collision in one dimension. So, here see two bodies hitting and getting stuck together. When two bodies hit and get stuck, it is treated as perfectly inelastic collision. So, we can, when the bodies collide and stick together and move with constant final velocity v, it is called perfectly inelastic or non-elastic collision. And writing the relation for conservation of linear momentum conserve होगा, तो वहाँ से we can get this relation for final velocity, that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 upon m1 plus m2. This is the final velocity. And now, coefficient of restitution for a collision. Now, it is a ratio of velocity of separation and velocity of approach. Coefficient of restitution. Velocity of separation upon velocity of approach, v2 minus v1 upon u1 minus u2. And for perfectly elastic collision, velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. So, coefficient of restitution is 1. And for perfectly non-elastic collision, the bodies are sticking together. So, v2 minus v1 is 0. So, coefficient of restitution is 0. So, coefficient of restitution is 0 for perfectly inelastic collision, and it is 1 for perfectly non-elastic collision. And for most of the collisions, the value of E lies between 0 and 1. So, now elastic collision in two dimension. See, supposing this m2 is at rest and m1 is coming and hitting it in two dimension. So, hitting, and they are going along two different directions. See, it is coming along this direction, hitting this body, and they are going in two different directions. So, now they are not following a straight path. So, it is in two dimension. It can be xy plane or any other plane. See. So, now for the sake of simplicity, we have taken m2 at rest, and now you can see that m1 and m2 are moving with different velocities v1 and v2. And now you see, look at it, the m1 gets deflected through angle theta 1 and m2 gets deflected through angle theta 2 from initial direction, and we can treat the initial direction as x-axis and a line perpendicular to it as y-axis. Now, we have to look at conservation of linear momentum. So, ये जो linear momentum है इस direction में mv, m1, v1, इसके हम components लेंगे along x-axis and along y-axis. So, we can do that. दी एंगल के साथ वाला कंपोनेंट कॉस होता है और एंगल से अवे वाला साइन होता है. सो द कंपोनेंट ऑफ momentum along x-axis is m1 v1 cos theta 1 and along y-axis m1 v1 sin theta 1. And now for the second mass, इसका momentum है m2 v2. तो इसका component along x-axis is m2 v2 cos theta 2. See, angle के साथ वाला component cos and angle से अवे वाला sin m2 v2 sin theta 2. And now the collision takes place in two dimensions, say xy plane. We will take conservation of momentum along x-axis and along y-axis. हम x-axis और y-axis दोनों directions में conservation of momentum check करेंगे. So before collision, the momentum along x-axis is m1 u1. m2 was at rest, so इसका momentum 0 है. And direction was this one. After collision, the momentum along x-axis is this one plus this one. And see what we get. So, conservation of momentum along x-axis. m1 u1 cos theta 1 plus m2 u2 cos theta 2 is equal to m1 u1. So, along x-axis, total momentum after collision is equal to total momentum before collision. And along y-axis, see, there is no motion along y-axis. यहाँ पर y-axis के along कोई motion था नहीं, तो initial momentum along y-axis was 0. So after collision also it should be 0 only. Collision से पहले y-axis में कोई motion नहीं है, कोई momentum नहीं है, तो collision के बाद भी y-axis के along momentum 0 ही होगा. So momentum along y-axis is m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m2 v2 sin theta 2. They are opposite to each other and this minus this should be equal to 0. So you can see that m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m2 v2 sin theta 2 is equal to 0. So we have got these two equations considering conservation of momentum along x-axis and along y-axis. And again, since it is elastic collision, so conservation of kinetic energy holds good here. So half m1 v1 square after collision plus half m2 v2 square is equal to kinetic energy before collision half m1 u1 square plus 0 because m2 was at rest. So we have got these three equations. And with the help of these three equations, we can find out V1 and V2. The velocities after collision can be found out using these three relations. And now, we will take a special case in 2 dimension, elastic collision in 2 dimension. So, we are going to consider special case when the two masses are equal. So you see, it is hitting it and going along 2 different directions. Remember, the masses are equal even though they are not looking equal. So you can see same x-axis, y-axis, the angles of deflection as theta 1 and theta 2, and resolve the momentum of m1 as m1 v1 cos theta 1 and m1 v1 sin theta 1, and resolve the momentum of this m2 as m2 v2 cos theta 2 and m2 v2 sin theta 2. And now special case, the masses are equal, so conservation of kinetic energy has to be there. So let us begin with conservation of kinetic energy. So half m v1 square plus half m v2 square is equal to half m u1 square, and we can cancel 1 by 2 in all 3 terms and m also in all 3 terms. So we will get this equation, v1 square plus v2 square is equal to u1 square, right? And now we will consider conservation of momentum. And since we are talking in 2 dimension, so we will consider the vectors. So final momentum of one mass mv1 plus final momentum of second mass mv2 is equal to initial momentum of the mass mu1 plus initial momentum of second mass will be 0 because it was at rest. So from here, cancel m both sides. We will have vector v1 plus vector v2 is equal to vector u1. And now we are going to do, we want these square terms. हमको ये वाले square terms चाहिए. So स्केलर प्रोडक्ट लेंगे इस इक्वेशन का इसके साथ ही. So on the left side I get v1 plus v2 dot, you can see this dot product, scalar product here, v1 plus v2 dot v1 plus v2 is equal to, on right side, u1 dot u1. And when you do so, open the bracket. So first term v1 dot v1 will give you v1 square plus v2 dot v2 will give you v2 square plus middle term 2 v1 dot v2 is equal to this u1 dot u1 will give you u1 square. And if you use the equation 1, then you know that this u1 square is equal to v1 square plus v2 square. So we can cancel out this term and this term, and then we will be left with 2 v1 dot v2 as 0 or v1 dot v2 is equal to 0. और दो वेक्टर्स का स्केलर प्रोडक्ट 0 तब होता है जबकि वो परपेंडिकुलर हो. So you can see that the outcome from this relation vector v1 dot vector v2 is 0. This outcome shows that vector v1 is perpendicular to vector v2. That means after collisions the velocities are perpendicular to each other and the sum of angles of deflections has to be 90 degree. So from here we can say that theta 1 plus theta 2 has to be 90 degree. The two masses go at right angle to each other after collision. And let us take some numerical problems based on these collisions. Simple problem: a 200-gram ball moving at 10 meter per second hits a ball of 100 gram elastically which is approaching it at 20 meter per second along the same path. Find their velocities after collision. So see what we get. M1, M2, we have written the masses, converted them to SI units, 0.2 kilogram, 0.1 kilogram. Their initial velocities u1 and u2. See, u1 is taken as negative because it is approaching the first mass. तो उसकी direction अलग है. M1 is going like this, M2 is coming in opposite direction. So now we have done these formulae, so we can use them directly, or you can start with conservation of momentum and conservation of energy, and you can do from there also. So अगर आपको फॉर्मूले याद हैं तो डायरेक्टली आप फॉर्मूला यूज़ कर सकते हो, और नहीं तो कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम और कंजर्वेशन ऑफ काइनेटिक एनर्जी यूज़ करके भी कर सकते हैं. सो पुटिंग द वैल्यूज इन दिस रिलेशन, द फाइनल वेलोसिटी ऑफ m1, put all the values, simplify, comes out to be -10 मीटर पर सेकेंड. दैट मीन्स कि ये जब दोनों कोलाइड करते हैं तो पहला वाला मास m1 जो है अपनी डायरेक्शन में वापस मुड़ जाता है 10 मीटर पर सेकेंड के हिसाब से. एंड सी द फाइनल वेलोसिटी ऑफ m2. सो इफ़ यू रिमेंबर द फॉर्मूला इट्स फाइन, अदरवाइज आप कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम और काइनेटिक एनर्जी से कर सकते हैं. एंड व्हेन यू सॉल्व v2 कम्स आउट टू बी पॉजिटिव +20 मीटर पर सेकेंड. सो देखो इनिशियली m2 इधर जा रहा था और कोलिजन के बाद velocity positive हो गई. That means it has returned. And another thing, you can see that they have exchanged their velocities also. See? So it is something like initially m1 is going this way, m2 is coming this way, and then they collide, and after collision, this is m1, this is m2. After collision, m1 is returning back, changing the direction because its velocity is negative now, and m2 has also changed its direction. Initially its velocity was negative, and after collision its velocity becomes positive. And they have exchanged their velocities also. So very interesting problem. And now another problem. A particle of mass 10 gram moving with velocity v1 is equal to 2I cap plus 6j cap experiences a perfectly inelastic collision with another particle of mass 20 gram and velocity v2 is equal to minus 5I cap minus 3k cap. Find the velocity after collision and also find the loss of kinetic energy. And v1 and v2 are taken in SI units. So, first thing, condition for perfectly inelastic collision, that we have to use. And for perfectly inelastic collision, after collisions the bodies stick together. So, conservation of momentum m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to, अब bodies stick हो गई हैं, so m1 plus m2 into v. V is the final velocity. So we can put the values of masses 10 gram, 20 gram, and m1 plus m2 will be 30 gram. Look, I have not changed them to kilogram because I know that they are cancelling out on both the sides. So we can do it that way, or you can change also if you want to avoid any kind of mistake. So from here you can see that this 10 is cancelled and we are left with this 3v here is equal to 2I cap plus 6j cap plus 2 times 5I cap minus 3k cap, and open the bracket and simplify now. Open this bracket, simplify, you get 12I cap plus 6j cap minus 6k cap, and now from here V comes out to be 4I cap plus 2j cap minus 2k cap meter per second. It is taken in SI unit. So the velocity comes out this much and its magnitude is under root, see, x square plus y square plus z square, 4 square plus 2 square plus minus 2 whole square, that is under root minus 24 or 2 under root 6 meter per second. So we have found out the final velocity of the two particles when they stick together, and now we have to find out the loss of kinetic energy. You know that kinetic energy is not conserved, some kinetic energy is lost. So we want to find out the loss. So loss of kinetic energy is total initial kinetic energy minus final kinetic energy. So total initial kinetic energy is half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square minus half m1 plus m2 v square. So we will put all the values. Here we can take half common, so half is common, into, see, now I have converted it to kilogram. So m1 is 0.01 kilogram into v1 square. Now v1 square is, we have to take the magnitude of velocity v1, and its magnitude will be this v1's under root 2 square plus 6 square. So v square will be equal to 2 square plus 6 square. See, so from here this v1 square is 2 square plus 6 square plus this mass m2 is 0.02 kilogram, and this v2 square, look at it, from here v2 square will be equal to 5 square plus minus 3 square, 5 square plus minus 3 square minus, see, m1 plus m2 is 30 gram, so minus 0.03 kilogram, and v2 square from here, see, sorry, final velocity ka square from here is 24. So I put the values and open the bracket, simplify, it comes out to be 0.18 joule. So this is the loss of kinetic energy. One more problem. Example of collision in 2 dimension. A 100-gram billiard ball moving with 20 meter per second on a frictionless table strikes a similar ball at rest elastically. One of them moves at 30 degree with the initial path. Find the velocities after collision. So only initial, the mass of balls is given and the initial velocity is given. So since the masses are equal, one of them is at rest and one is moving at 30 degree. We have just seen that after collision, the balls must go at right angle to each other. So if one of them goes at 30 degree, the second one will go at 60 degree. This has to be a right angle. Okay. And we will see initial momentum of the first ball. Initially one ball was here at rest, and after collision one goes along this direction, the other one goes here. So initial momentum along x-axis is mu and इस mv1 को आप resolve कर दीजिए along x-axis and y-axis. So you get mv1 cos 30, mv1 sin 30 and इस mv2 को resolve कीजिए. So mv2 cos 60 and mv2 sin 60. Now the total final momentum is this much, is equal to total initial momentum this along x-axis, and along y-axis this must be equal and opposite to this one. Okay. So using the same concept, conservation of momentum along x-axis, m1 v1 cos 30 plus m2 mv2 cos 60 is equal to mu, and along y-axis mv1 sin 30 minus mv2 sin 60 is equal to 0. And from these equations now we can simplify from equation 1. From this equation m is cancelled both sides. The value of cos 30 is root 3 upon 2 v1 plus value of cos 60 is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 v2 is equal to u is given to be 20, and then take this 2 to the right hand side. We get this equation as root 3 v1 plus v2 is equal to 40. One equation 4. And from this equation, see m is cancelled and take this to the right side. This negative becomes positive and then we get sin 30 is 1 by 2. So half v1 is equal to sin 60 is root 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2 v2, and this 2 is also cancelled. So we get v1 is equal to root 3 v2. And from this equation, see, from this equation v1 is equal to root 3 v2, we can put this in equation number 3 here, and when you put the value of v1 here, v1 and v2 can be found out. So v1 comes out to be 10 under root 3 meter per second and v2 comes out to be 10 meter per second. So we have found out the velocities of balls after collision. And if we want to check that it is elastic collision, we can check it by taking the condition for conservation of kinetic energy. So let us do that. So if we look at the conservation of kinetic energy, then final kinetic energy half mv1 square plus half mv2 square is equal to half mu square, and 1 by 2 is cancelled throughout, m is also cancelled throughout. So we have v1 square plus v2 square is equal to 20 square. U was 20. v1 is 10 root 3 square, v2 is 10, and when you square it you get 300 plus 100, 400, and square of 20 is also 400. So LHS is equal to RHS and hence verified. So it's a very interesting problem. With this I come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope that it is useful to all of you.